But because you just got tunnel vision, you go, no, I need to somehow fix this. I need to make them want me. Yeah. Which is so fucking sad. If you have a think about it, if you're in a relationship and you're constantly trying to make that person want you, you're going to find someone else. You're actually wasting more time. I like to think of it now as a way of, okay, a breakup will take roughly 3 months to start feeling really better again. Doesn't matter, unless it's a really short relationship or something, it's going to take a bit. It actually is. And then you're going to have to deal with finding out that they're getting with other people. It's just human nature. You're just going to find out.
Let alone hear that.
Wouldn't you rather start that now? Yeah. And continue hurting for another 6 and then being like, nah, now I'm done.
Yeah, you're dragging it out. You're sort of wasting your time, their time.
There's going to be people out there that know this exact feeling. If you're constantly arguing and you're arguing like, there was arguments I would have with her and I'd be like, I have tried seeing your point of view. Like, I really have. I've sat back and I've gone, your point of view. And I'm like, even doing that, you're batshit crazy. How can you have that opinion? It actually hurts my head that you have this opinion. Makes no sense. And then you'd go to bed angry. And that is the worst thing ever. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Morokai with 2 eyes. We are back around every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. Man, there's one thing I always see people talk about when they get a bit older, especially when they're married.
Okay, yep.
And it's regrets of not going, I guess, a bit harder with the ladies early on.
Okay.
And I found this interesting. I was at a party the other night and there was a bit of a speech where the birthday boy, it got brought up that he pulled a lot in his day.
Okay.
So now he's married.
Yeah, tied down.
And he's got a kid, got a baby girl. He's living the good life. He's got the nice house, got the great job. Everything's great. But in his early 20s, mate, he smashed.
Okay.
He balled, right?
Okay.
But you find a lot that people get shacked up. And then when they're shacked up, married, got the kids, they have that regret early on of not actually going out and pulling a bit more and going a bit nuts and kind of going a bit crazy with the girls. But on the opposite side, I was thinking also, I was like, I've met a lot of people who have done that in their 20s, just been pulling, or it could be guys, just pulling, racking up the numbers, but they can't find a healthy relationship.
Yep.
And part of me was going, okay, I can see a lot of people going, fuck, I do have a bit of regrets of not going a bit harder when I was younger and maybe sleeping around a bit more, getting that experience right.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I feel like the regret of maybe being single later on without a family or without that special partner would be a bigger regret.
Yeah, no, fair call. Fair call.
And I think a lot of people bounce between, like, what would be the harder decision?
Yeah, no, okay.
What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm probably more, obviously we went out quite a bit when we were younger, as we've discussed on the podcast and all that. And me on the ladies front, I would say was pretty shit to pretty average. No, like, being honest, we've got to be honest and transparent here on the pod and all that. Like, don't get me wrong, like, yeah, there were chicks that, like, I was very into and all that, but I also probably from, like, definitely during high school / like maybe just out of high school, my standards were so high for myself and all that, but yet, like, I'm the furthest thing from a 10.
In my eyes, you are.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. But, like, in all seriousness, like, I feel like, and maybe it's not just me, but I feel like in high school, like, it's just, I would not settle for less.
I know exactly what
like, because in high school, I feel like it's so, like, looks, and all that. But then, like, you start being like, oh, well, actually, like, yeah, they might look 10 out of 10. But if it's like talking to a fucking brick wall, like, you need that personality. Like, personality can be 10 times better than
I know exactly what it is, and I think you'll agree with me when I say this, and let me know if this is true.
Yeah,
100%. It was you're worried about what your friends would tell.
Oh, 100% as well. No, most definitely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, it wouldn't be their standards themselves. Some people, I reckon, they would look and go, yeah, actually, I find it kind of attractive. But you go, oh, geez, what would someone say if I slept with her? I had a few mates who had secret relationships and things like that, or people they slept with and never told anyone and then it found out, and because they regretted it. It could be girls, could be guys. They look back and they go, oh, I didn't want anyone to know that I hooked up with him.
Yeah, well, in, like, hindsight, I feel like your mates are just like, oh, well, cool, like, good on ya. Like, really, but we just get caught up so much in our own heads that, like, oh, shit, they can't find out. Like, that's going to destroy me.
Yep.
It's going to ruin me. They're going to think less of me and all that. Where in reality, if you see yourself up with good mates, just be like, oh, mate, as long as you're happy, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, in all seriousness, like, we don't care.
And that's the key,
like, we just want to see our mate that we care so much about happy.
Yeah.
So if that's your person or whatever, like, yeah, sweet.
Yeah. You know, if it happened with you, like if it happened with you out of the blue, like even if there was like a bit of like, oh really? I'd be like, nah, mate, honestly, happy for you. I mean, like, far out. Like, what happened to the wheelchair? Like, what'd you guys do with that? That's pretty.
Jesus. Bloody hell.
Where'd you put that?
Just carry on, mate. No, but that's what I mean, though. Like, yeah, and then growing up, but I don't know, throughout clubbing, like, I would always just head over heels so quick.
You did.
As well. Like, it was real bad. Like, looking back at it now, like, I don't know what happened to me.
No, I had a few moments in clubbing as well, definitely, where I would go straight, oh, we could go on a date.
Yeah.
We could go on a date. And I think it was one of the last times I went clubbing properly too. I straight away went like, oh, we could possibly go on a date. And ruined my entire night. It was just not the way you want to do things. Yeah, people meet in clubs and they go, oh, do you know what? Actually, we could work on the outside. It's very rare, I notice. It's very rare. It's kind of the 1%. Other than that, it's you want to meet them in a different location.
And I feel like, not to just sort of handball this one to you here or anything like that, but obviously one of your previous partners she's met through clubbing and all that and stuff like that. Because even I think at first was a bit like, oh shit, like, because yes, again, you can meet people out and stuff like that, and it's awesome when you do and you just connect and all that. But I feel like the relationship that you had, to me, is a classic, like,
nightmare.
Yeah, well, just in the sense of no, but like in the sense of yeah, you've met out and stuff, and that's cool. Like, yeah, that's what you did. But then at the same time, it's like I want to do other things than just go night clubbing every single weekend. Like, now that we're like a thing, and that I think that's what was happening with yourself. Like, you know, like you were like, don't get me wrong, like I enjoy it, but at the same time, I would rather just spend time with you.
Yeah.
So the fact that like quality time is being out with other like.
Yeah, I had a good, not a good experience, but like I can talk about my experience of dating someone that was strictly from clubbing. And the way it worked was like we hooked up, got together. This was like my first proper like relationship after one that was, I guess, from high school.
Yeah,
this was
like
brand new.
Yeah,
like meeting someone from a different, like she wasn't in school anymore, but different area. Like it was all brand new. We got a new group of mates, everything like that. When we went out, it was good at the start, and then you slowly start realizing like, fuck, they've got a lot of guy mates. And you'll notice that with people that go clubbing. Like, you've got a lot of guy mates.
Yeah, or girl mates, like, depending on, like, either sex. Yeah.
And then there would be a few comments here and there they'd make, or, like, people have slept with them before because they've obviously slept with a few people in the club, and I'd be like, oh, I don't like that. And then constantly always wanting to go out. And I'd be like, no, let's go on a date. I'm like, no, let's go out. And there'd be times where I'd want to spend time with them, be like, no, I'm going to go to the city with the girls. And I'm like, really? Like, every weekend.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well, that even like as your mate that was noticing from the outside, I was like, fuck, like I think that's awesome. And again, I get to see my mate be happy and all that. Like clearly she makes him happy. And then I just see it's like, oh fuck, she's going out again. She's going out again. And then like you're not there as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
the trust one was massive. I think you get naive when, because I know what love is, and that wasn't love.
Yeah.
I know I said, like, I love you, but when you look back, you go, that wasn't love.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
But there's something about being in a relationship where you're either protective or you really just want to be their number one. And if you're not their number one, and usually you think, I should be. Like, I'm in a relationship. I should be that person's number one. So when you're not, it's a bit of a head fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you want to go out so much? Why do you want to press these people? Why don't you want to do this with me? Like, it's just, even if you don't want to do it, in your head, you're like, but hang on, why don't you want to do that with me? I don't want to do it, but why don't you
like,
want to do that with me?
Coming to me and asking me first.
Yeah, and then it got to a point where I just saw the way she hanged around guys, and I was like, I'm not okay with this. Like, this is like really odd. And if it happened now, like as I'm older, straight away, I would fuck her off. I'd be like, I'm not dealing with that. I can't trust you.
Like, I can't, I suppose, touch too much on like relationship side of things, just being my first one and all that. But I feel like those ones are good where you just let each other know like what you're doing and stuff like that. For example, like she might have a night with girls or whatever, but it's like, yeah, that's cool and stuff. Like, yeah, like, I don't know, like there's no, the trust is there. And
Yeah,
all that. Like,
you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, like it's not in the back of like they're reassuring yourself like it's going to be all good and all that. Like me personally and all that, I just appreciate the good old like, hey, got to the place safely, got home safely.
Yep.
And all that. Like, yeah, like I don't want to be too invasive of your night out with your mates.
Yep.
Don't be too invasive of me with my night out with my mates.
Yeah.
But if something goes up or whatever, like you still get a message throughout the night being like, hey, I just want to let you know.
See,
like,
that's a shit feeling when, and I had it in previous relationships where they would go clubbing and they go party and you'd sit there and go, are they going to do anything tonight? Like, I think
I couldn't think of a worse feeling.
If you're in a relationship, you shouldn't have that in your head.
Yeah.
In my current relationship, she couldn't cheat. I would have more chance of winning the lottery than her cheating on me.
Yeah,
like just loyal as anything, like trustworthy.
Most definitely,
I wouldn't have to even think about it. So the relationship you want is when they go, I'm going out, you go, okay, sweet. Well, all right, well, I'll make sure I'm free if you need me to pick you up.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's the best type.
Yeah. But when I was in that toxic one, yeah, I kept noticing. I was like, okay. And it was fight after fight after fight about stupid shit.
Well, it's hard as well when we had a very close friend as well that was then like always with them on a night out, but like you weren't getting like. Then I also, because I was like, how does the guy that's going out with this chick not get invited out, but then like the friend who's sort of trying to see their friend. I'm like, that doesn't make... And to the point where even I was feeling a bit guilty because I was almost like, I'm hanging out more with Luke's partner than what he... Like, hang on, like, take a step back. That's not right.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, what the fuck? Like, what is actually going on?
I've had to have a chat with a mate because I'm like, you realise, like, you're hanging out with my girlfriend 6 days of the week and I'm hanging out with her maybe twice. Well, I was like, this is weird. Like, I would get a text and I was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm with your mate. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, but like, why?
Yeah, what are you talking
about?
Even
when they went to the movies that night.
Yeah, all this stuff.
I was just like, what the fuck?
And then I was somehow the bad guy for bringing it up and being like, hey, I don't think this is
like out of curiosity. Like,
what's going on? And it was also one of those moments where I had too much trust in a friend where I was like, no, I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't imagine it. But you never know. Maybe. I look back and I go, maybe they did. Or maybe... she did cheat, but I just had blinders on.
Yeah.
And I was just trying
happens.
And it's so stupid. I think if you got your headlights on and you're just kind of thinking, okay, this is the tunnel vision, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I promise you now, people where if they have other options, like if I had other options, if I had really nice girls just like hitting me up being like, oh, what's going on? That wouldn't be an issue. I'd be like, you know what, fuck this. But because you just got tunnel vision, you go, no, I need to somehow fix this. I need to make them want me, which is so fucking sad. If you have a think about it, if you're in a relationship and you're constantly trying to make that person want you, you're gonna find someone else. You're actually wasting more time. I like to think of it now as a way of, okay, a breakup will take roughly 3 months to start feeling really better again. Doesn't matter unless it's a really short relationship or something, it's going to take a bit. It actually is, and then you're going to have to deal with finding out that they're getting with other people. It's just human nature. You're just going to find out.
Let alone hear that.
Wouldn't you rather start that now?
Yeah.
And continue hurting for another 6 and then being like, nah, now I'm done.
Yeah, you're dragging it out. You're sort of wasting your time, their time.
There's going to be people out there that know this exact feeling. If you're constantly arguing and you're arguing like, there was arguments I would have with her and I'd be like, I have tried seeing your point of view. Like, I really have. I've sat back and I've gone, your point of view. And I'm like, even doing that, you're batshit crazy. How can you have that opinion?
Yeah.
It actually hurts my head that you have this opinion. Makes no sense. And then you'd go to bed angry. And that is the worst thing ever. It is uncomfortable. Not only are you lying there, and everyone will understand this, you're lying there and you're going, oh, did they turn over a little bit? Was that them wanting me to, like, talk to them or hug them, or like, did I want to bring it up? Like, why'd they just go on to bed and not talking to me? It is gut-wrenching.
Yeah, and then you're there as well and you're like, I feel, like, because you feel uncomfortable.
You do.
So then it's like, oh, well, do I stay here and there's just awkward silence, no talking or anything? Do I get up and leave? But then if I leave, that's an argument in and of itself because it's why you're leaving.
Yep.
And all that. But it's like, well, I'm leaving because you're not saying anything. And then, but that's an argument in and of itself right there then.
Or they're on their phone, you can tell they're texting.
Yeah.
You're like, who are you texting?
Yeah, and then it's like, again, I
know you're talking shit about me.
It's like, I don't want to then go on my phone either because then it's like, oh, so we've had an argument, he doesn't even care. sort of thing. It's seriously lose, lose, lose. The best thing that you could do is resolve it then and there. Yes, it might suck. It might be shit, but don't go to bed on bad terms.
Yeah.
You might still go to sleep disagreeing with that person's point of view. That's okay, but don't end the night on a sour note.
Oh, bro, do you know do you know in the last relationship, I was so confused, but I mean, I'm glad it happened now, but it was so confusing. I went that approach. Like, me and this girl, we never fought. I think we had one fight. Yeah. And after the fight, I got her flowers. Like, it was just no fighting. And then there was a couple of moments where I was noticing, it wasn't arguments, but where there was a few backhanded comments or just like an attitude real quick and be like, oh, what was that? And then it'd be really awkward for an hour. And it only happened a few times. So don't get me wrong, there was no fighting. There was no argument ever. And then one night it happened and we were going back to my room and then I was like, no, you know what? You can talk about it tonight. You can talk about it. It was awkward as. I'm like, no, what was that? What's going on? There was another awkwardness. We go to bed, we're hardly talking. I bring it up again. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, do you even love me? And then he just silence. All right. Can you imagine being in a relationship? You've had one fight, and that fight was over the stupidest thing ever, and you got them flowers the next day.
Yeah.
Haven't had a tiff after that, and you're sitting there and you're going, wait, hang on, why are you taking so long to respond?
Yeah.
And then straight after, she's like, I don't know. And you get the I don't know, then it's like done. Like I
feel like that's just
I didn't even know what was going on, and I didn't want to talk about it then and there because I'm like, you're done. Like, I'm not doing breaks. I'm not doing let's rebuild this. If you don't love me, you don't love me. I'm not trying to refix this and put a Band-Aid on it. So in 6 months later, you'll do it again. Confusing as fuck. So I remember that night, like, I'm just in shock. I'm just like, how the fuck does like nothing ever get brought up and now out of the blue you don't love me? I'm like, what have I even done?
Yeah, because I remember when you told me this as well, because I think that was still when we were like, not that we don't talk, but like we were talking like a lot. And I just remember being like, fuck, I haven't heard from Luke for like just a bit. Like, I wonder what's like going on, sort of thing. And I remember like obviously he reached out to me, let me know and all that. And even I was in a state of shock because I was just like, fuck, Luke's the type of guy that like, if something's up, like if you let him know, like, he's not just going to be like, oh, well, like, that's your problem. Like, you're the type of guy that's like, all right, like, clearly some areas or whatever need work. Like, let's try and work, like, rebuild this or, like, whatever. So the fact that, like, no, I don't know, like, that just, yeah.
I was so confused. Like, when it got hit with me, because I was like, oh, this is, like, the girl for me and everything. And I was, it happened. And I was just in shock. And then when she left, I immediately went to the gym.
Yeah.
I think it was like midnight or something because I was trying to take my mind off. And then after that's when it really sunk in and it really hurt. And I was like, what the fuck? And then when it really hurts and it really sinks in, that's when I want to know all the information.
Yeah.
If I could go back in time, I would have fucking loved to sit down and be like, okay, tell me what was wrong. Tell me everything.
Yeah.
What was it? Why didn't you talk to me about any of this stuff? Why is this like... Why are we breaking up out of the blue? Like, this is so confusing to me. Can you at least give me an idea? People fall out of love. That happens. I can understand. But the fact that you haven't said anything to me and you go back and you go, okay, if we're breaking up now, you've been feeling like this for a month minimum. So that hurts even more. Yeah. Because no one just goes out of the blue, oh, I've got an out. Yeah, all right, we'll break up. No, it's you've been thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then now I've given you an out. So that was pretty upsetting. So I remember I think after that, I was really upset for like a week. Like I was really down in the dumps. And then everyone does this in breakup. You just start hanging shit on yourself in every aspect. You find all your negatives, whether your personal life, work life, your physical appearance, anything, and you start going down and down and down. Yeah, because it's so easy to
kick yourself when you're already down.
Yeah.
You don't see like the positives at all. You don't see like what you did well. It's always what you did wrong.
And the worst thing about that one was there's no... To get the answers I needed, I'd have to message her again. And that's the worst part because I'm like, I can't resolve this. There's no resolve because you have no idea what you did wrong. You literally have no idea.
Been left in the dark.
So you've been left in the dark, so you have to think about that constantly while trying to get over her. So that sucked. Oh, do you know what's funny? Out of the blue, I got a call from her the other night at midnight.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that.
That's really like...
Oh, well, do you know what? I know exactly what it is. Because part of me was like, oh, do I call back just to check if everything's okay? But straight away, I was like, nah, I guarantee
sort
it's
of
one
that baity phone call.
No, I don't even think it's that. I guarantee midnight on I think it was a Friday night or something. It would have been like a drinking game. Yeah. And it would have been one of those ones where you pull out and it's like, oh, you got to call your ex. And I was like, oh, that's weird. But then part of me was like, oh, I hope that person's okay.
Yeah,
But I was like, no, that I would have got a message that said something along the lines of, hey, I'm all good, or I'm just checking in, whatever. So because I didn't get that, I was like, nah, surely it's a drinking game.
Yeah,
it'd have to be.
So not a bad way to look at it though, from that perspective.
Yeah, well, do you know what else was good about it? It was 100% like, oh, I'm over you.
Yeah.
Because if I was like, oh, what should I do? Should I call it back? Should I text? Or maybe I should just check in. The only part of me that was like, should you check, was just the safety part.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, that's fair though.
That was it. I was just like, oh, maybe there might be something wrong or in danger, but surely not. So
yeah.
I'd guarantee it had to be a drinking game.
So now look at you.
Yeah, now it
just crushing it, happy and all that. It's just nice to see, man.
Yeah,
it's 100%. Almost like all those experiences that you've been dealt with and I have been, like leading up to.
Definitely. And I'm not perfect in any way,
but it's helped. Just you learn so much.
Keep learning. Yeah, I reckon there was times I would have started fights with the clubbing girlfriend, or maybe I wasn't. I don't know. Didn't have the right attitude going in towards some conversations with different girlfriends, but all the time my intention was like, oh, how can I fix this? How can I make this better? And that's the best way to do it. That's why never cheat on your partner. Never cheat on your partner. Never just start fights to start fights.
Well, that's like even like sort of straight away from that. But even like I'm like whatever, like my missus and stuff like with her and all that, because it is my first one. I didn't have that high. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you got to remember. I'm like, you've had a partner before myself, but like I'm sort of like learning as I'm going. Like everything's new. Like everything that like, so I know even like with myself in like my current relationship, like there's probably been questions that I'm asking you where granted, and you haven't, and like credit to you, but I'm sure maybe there's been questions where you maybe like to yourself, you're like, that's a really old question, like sort of thing. But because
where do I put it?
Yeah, but like for me though, it's like, it's so new.
Yeah.
And stuff. So it's just like, fuck, like obviously I want to ensure like I'm doing the right thing, but at the same time, you don't want to like, you still want to be your own person and all that as well. Like you don't want to just, you still got to stay true to yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And even if that means that your partner, maybe it caused a bit of a tiff, because like that's cool. Like that's what you stand for.
Well, you got to be able to go through those tiffs and be healthy about it. And it's also okay to be mad. You're allowed to get mad at the other person, but you've got to figure out a way to
almost like
have a good conversation without being like, are you fucking serious? Like you've got to go, all right, why do you think that way?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I think the worst one as well, like coming towards the end of this pod, is the one as well where like maybe you've had like an argument or a disagreement and all that. You can easily tell your partner's body language, they're just not them. Like it's so easy to tell. Like
it is
when you're with them all the time and all that, and they're giving you nothing or whatever, and you'll be like, hey, what's up? And like nothing and all that. And you're like, no, I just told me. Like colored crab, just like lay all the cards out, like tell me. Like we're adults. If you have something to say, like I'd much rather you say it, because I hate, and I see, and it's same with friendships and stuff as well. There is nothing fucking worse than when there's a blue or whatever, they say everything's all good. Visibly, you can tell that like it's not all good and all that. They don't say anything, and then it will be once they get home, you don't get the message, or it's the following day. And it's like, why didn't you just tell me that in there?
Yeah. Yeah, I was ready to
look. I'm ready to cop whatever you have to say, but you need to tell, because like
there's a difference dealing with it face to face than over the phone or text.
Like, I don't know. I feel like if you get that message like the night when they're, because it's just like and it sounds bad and like and all that, but my initial response to that is just fuck you.
Yeah.
Like in all seriousness, because it's like, what the actual fuck? Like,
or you hear it from a different person.
Yeah. Oh, when you hear it from a different person, I reckon that's
what are you
even
talking
worse.
about? They told me it was fine.
Yeah, that's even worse when you hear it from another person.
It fucking is. Oh, breakups and disagreements. Yeah. Guys, that was Morokai 2 Eyes. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next one.
Boom.
Boom.